We've discussed in other videos that if you want someone to get value from your genealogical research, creating a family tree with just names, dates, and places can be viewed by others as a pretty boring document. Adding family stories or describing the experiences family members had during their lives makes a much more compelling narrative. One interesting facet of a person's life is what they did for a living. This video will focus on finding and understanding occupations and trades, both domestic and foreign. We'll also cover occupations that don't exist anymore, or if they're expressed in languages other than English. To start with, where can you find your ancestors' occupations? Here are 8 sources of trade information, all of which are covered in more depth in other videos in our library. I'll try to list them in the lifetime order a person might have completed these documents. Number 1, passenger manifests. This would be a good source to tell you what a person did before they came to the United States. Number 2, naturalization documents. As an individual went through the naturalization process, you might see their occupation change. Number 3, World War I registration. This form, used between 1917 and 1918, could give you insights to an ancestor's first job, or at least a younger draft age time in their life. Number 4, federal census reports. Review your ancestor's occupation in 10-year increments and see if it changed over time, and also whether their status shifted between employee or an owner. In addition, consider state census reports. Number 5, city directories. City directories are a good place to find an occupation if you're fortunate to have your ancestors live in a city which had directories published. Number 6, alien registration form. If your ancestor was a resident alien in 1940, you might be able to find their alien registration form which included their occupation. Number 7, death certificate. Assuming the person giving the information knew it, the death certificate for most states includes a line for their occupation. And number 8, obituary. If you can find an obituary for your relative, you may get information throughout their working life, including affiliations with businesses or trade groups. What about foreign sources of occupations? For these, it's best to do some searching by country for the type of forms or registers that are available and take a look at some samples. But here are 2 types to keep in mind. The first are foreign census reports. Like American census reports, other countries may also request occupational information. And the second, think outside the box. Forced labor listings. During the Holocaust, there were many lists of captured residents and their occupational experience. This information was used to transfer people to different factories and work sites to take advantage of their skills. What if your ancestor has an occupation that you've never heard of before? There are lots of internet sources that list historical occupations. In the title to this video, I asked if it was an insult to be called a son of a knocker-upper. A knocker-upper was actually a person whose job it was to wake people up by knocking on their doors or windows. These human alarm clocks were employed in England and Ireland into the Industrial Revolution. There are a number of genealogical and other sites where you can find lists of old occupations. Here are a few: From the World Through the Lens, RootsWeb, and Family Researcher. In addition, if you have information in a language other than English, there are many sites that will give you lists that will translate the occupation between languages. Do a Google search for foreign countries that match your source documents, and you'll probably find a specific list for that country. For example, JewishGen has a number of translated occupational lists: French, German, Hungarian, Polish, and Romanian. The source for these listings come from numerous databases within the JewishGen site. By tracing your ancestors' work history, it may give you a better understanding how they lived and provided for their families. What kind of hours did they work? Were they employed by using some technical skill, or were they artistically inclined? And can you trace any of your ancestors' occupational traits down through their descendants? You probably wouldn't be surprised to see that more than surnames and DNA get passed down from generation to generation. This has been another helpful video from the Jewish Genealogy Society of Long Island. Please visit our website at www.jgsli.org for more information on our monthly speakers, beginners workshops, and other projects and resources. And visit our Facebook page where you can take part in conversations with experienced researchers. Whether you're on Long Island or an out-of-towner, we'd love to hear from you. Good luck with your research.